Welcome to Christian Trivia. Today we're talking about the book of Judges. My name's Brandon and I'm your host. So let's jump into this. Real quick, if you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you can see more videos coming up. Question number 1. In the book of Judges, what is the most prominent theme? Is it A, destroying God's enemies, B, God's people failing, C, the danger of moral relativism, or D, God giving people power? And the answer is C, the danger of moral relativism. This is something that we struggle with even today, and we're going to continue to until Jesus comes back. Question number 2. How many judges are mentioned in the book of Judges? Is it A, 12, B, 7, C, 16, or D, 10? And if you answered 12, you would be correct. There's a lot of judges that we don't know much about. In fact, a couple of them which we only know a sentence or two. So don't feel bad if you got this one wrong. Question number 3. Who is traditionally credited as the author of Judges? Is it A, Moses, B, Joshua, C, Samuel, or D, King David? And the answer is C, Samuel. Although this is not known for sure, this is who many people attribute the book to. On to question number 4. Who was the only female judge? Was it A, Delilah, B, Jael, C, Deborah, or D, Tola? And the answer is C, Deborah. She was the only female judge, and in fact, the only one to be called a prophet. She's definitely one of the most influential female characters in the Old Testament. Now to one of my favorite stories in the Bible. The king of Moab was assassinated by which judge? A, Samson, B, Ehud, C, Shamgar, or D, Jair? If you've read this story, I guarantee you wouldn't have forgotten it. And of course it's Ehud who assassinates the king of Moab. The king of Moab is actually so fat that the knife goes into his belly, and a lot of other stuff comes out. Now let's see how well you were paying attention to some of the lesser known judges. Which judge had 30 sons, 30 cities, and 30 colts? Was it A, Jair, B, Deborah, C, Tola, or D, Ibzan? And the correct answer is A, Jair. Now we don't know too much about Jair, but we do get this nice little factoid. Now here's a story that they love recreating in youth groups. Who killed Sisera with a tent peg and a hammer? Was it A, Deborah, B, Barak, C, Jael, or D, Jabin? And the correct answer is Jael. She allowed Sisera to come into her tent and then tricked him, and then, well, did the deed. This fulfilled Deborah's prophecy that Sisera would be killed by a woman. Now we know eventually Gideon had 300 men to destroy the Midianites, but how many did he start with originally? Was it A, 100,000, B, 32,000, C, 3,000, or D, 17,000? After several different tests, the army was brought down from 32,000 all the way down to 300, and yet God still prevailed, even with this small of an army. The whole purpose was to show how powerful God actually is, that he doesn't need an army of 32,000, but rather only 300. Now, while we're on the subject of Gideon, he actually had another name. Do you remember what it was? He earned this name by doing a very specific task. And his family probably wasn't that happy about it. And the correct answer is Jerubbaal, which means Baal will contend. Gideon got this name by destroying the altar of Baal at his family's house. Next to our favorite judge, Samson. How many men did Samson strike with a donkey's jawbone? Was it A, 300, B, 200, C, 1,000, or D, 3,000? And the answer is C, 1,000. Many times we think of Samson as the most prominent judge, but reading through Judges again, maybe he's not the best role model. And that's it for today's episode. Let us know in the comments below what your score was. As always, please share this with a friend and let them know about what's going on here at Christian Trivia. Like and subscribe if you want to see more, and hit that bell icon so you can see every single trivia video that's coming out soon. Happy 2022, and we'll see you guys on the next one.